This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Unfortunately, this is going to be a short show because I do have to get to basketball practice at 5 o'clock. All right, so, I'm about 10, 15 minutes away. So we're talking 30 to 40 minutes for this show here, ladies and gentlemen. But hey, we're here. We're going to talk about the Knicks versus the Nets tonight at 7:30 at the Barclays Center. Should be a good one. Should be a good basketball game. Please remember to support the channel. Cash App is $ nothing but Knicks, or PayPal at paypal.me/nothing but Knicks. And you do have that information in your YouTube chat. All right, so make sure you go ahead and support the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I always appreciate all of your support. But hey, tonight should be a good basketball game. Should be a good basketball game. The Knicks are coming off of a good win versus the Los Angeles Lakers. They've been up and down over the last 4 games, right? A really bad loss to Utah. Good win versus Phoenix. Bad loss to the Clippers. Terrible loss to the Clippers. Then they come back and get a very good win against the Los Angeles Lakers. Right? So we're hoping that the Knicks can find a little bit of consistency and get a win tonight versus the Brooklyn Nets. All right, now the Nets are, they're decent. They're a decent basketball team. They're not the, top team in the Eastern Conference or worst team in the Eastern Conference. They're a decent basketball team. A team that can beat the Knicks if the Knicks don't show up. And over the last 4 games, that's kind of been an issue. Which team is going to show up? Are you going to get a team that's going to score 140 points? Or are you going to get a team that's going to be able to play some defense? Past game versus the Los Angeles Lakers, the Knicks decided to get back to defense. And you see what happens when they get back to defense, when they play defense. When the Knicks play defense, they can be a very good basketball team. I'll continue to say it. 115 points. That's my sweet spot for where I want the Knicks to score the basketball. That is my sweet spot. I just feel like 115 points allows the Knicks to play the right tempo for them to be successful offensively and defensively. When the Knicks start getting up to, 120 points is okay too. When they start getting up to 138, 128, this, that, third, I don't know. I feel like they let the defense slip when they get up that high. You know what I mean? I feel like they let the defense slip. Maybe they're playing too fast. Maybe they're not able to get back into defensive position. I don't know what it is. Or maybe the focus maybe they can't focus when they're playing that fast or playing or scoring at that high of a volume. I don't know. But I just always feel, and maybe it's just me, but I just always feel more comfortable when the Knicks are playing at a pace that brings them about 115 points. Sweet spot. And I want to see them continue to play at that sweet spot. So I think that's where they're most successful. tonight is going to be, I just seen someone put in the chat, a grind out game. And yeah, this could be a grind out type of game tonight. You know, the Nets are, decent defensively. The Knicks can be very good defensively. You know what I mean? So it should be that kind of a game. Let's take a look at the injury report, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Right now, Jericho Sims is questionable for tonight. We all seen him right off the tip. He stepped on AD's ankle right on the tip. And yeah, I think it was Breen or whoever was on the telecast said, it's a wonder that players don't do it more often. And I agree. You rarely see somebody sprain their ankle on the tip, but it is a wonder that it doesn't happen more often when you look at how close in proximity they are to one another. Jericho Sims did jump forward just a little bit, though. Right? But he twisted his ankle, tried to go a couple of minutes. I think he went like 3 minutes or so. Had to come out the game. So Jericho Sims is questionable for tonight for the New York Knicks. Other than that, Mitchell Robinson is already out. Everybody else is on G League assignment. Now, for the Brooklyn Nets, they got some people out. Lonnie Walker is out. Derek Whitehead, well, he's on G League assignment. Lonnie Walker is out. Dennis Smith Jr. is out. Ben Simmons is out. All right, so those guys, Ben Simmons, Dennis Smith Jr., Lonnie Walker, those guys, they make up a good portion of their bench. Those are some contributors to that basketball team. Those guys are out tonight. Of course, the questions are, who starts for the Knicks at the center spot? I can tell you right now, to me, it's hands down, it's Isaiah Hartenstein. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. Even if Jericho Sims is available for tonight, if he ends up being available, I still think Isaiah Hartenstein should be the starting center. I understand the logic from Tom Thibodeau, right? Keep it the same. Stay consistent. I get the logic. No doubt about it. I get the logic. But right now, I just think, I don't know. I feel that, what's his name? Jericho Sims, he's not experienced enough. I mean, he doesn't have the nuances of the game. He's still fresh. He's still fresh. So I think whether or not Jericho Sims is healthy, I think Isaiah Hartenstein should be starting at the center spot. He's more comfortable on the floor. I think he's more confident in his abilities. I think he's more versatile than Jericho Sims. He's actually more versatile than Mitchell Robinson, but we won't go there. Mitchell Robinson is the starting center for the New York Knicks. Right? But for right now, I think Isaiah Hartenstein needs to be the starting center, regardless of Jericho Sims. And to be honest with you, I think that Jericho Sims would probably be more comfortable on the bench anyway. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the pressure. Even though he started before, it's not like it's the first time he's ever started. Right? It's not like it's the first time he ever started, but I just think he'd be more comfortable coming off the bench, playing with other young guys, playing with other guys who are inexperienced. You know what I mean? They can make mistakes together. iHeart, probably gets a little bit more respect from Randall and Brunson, RJ. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think he needs to be the starting center until Mitchell Robinson comes back. I mean, the kid grabbed 17 rebounds against the Lakers simply because he had to. Wasn't afraid to go up against AD. He's not afraid to scrap. And I'm not saying that Jericho Sims is afraid to scrap or afraid of any of these guys, but he's young. He hasn't been in the league as long. So he hasn't faced these guys as many times. He still might be starstruck a little bit. You would never tell because Jericho Sims just doesn't let you know anything. You know what I mean? But we know Isaiah Hartenstein, he's not. He's played in some, decent size, some big games before, at least regular season big games. He's there to ball. You know what I mean? And he's going to play hard every time he steps out there on the floor. He's a good passer. He's got a more flourished, more grown up, more mature offensive game than Jericho Sims. Now, the question is, what happens on the bench? If Jericho Sims plays, does Taj Gibson play? If Jericho Sims is available, does Taj Gibson play? How many minutes does Taj Gibson get coming off the bench? We'll talk about that in just a second. A couple of minutes, actually. Before we do, just remember the channel has been demonetized, as you can see below me on your screen. So please make sure you support the channel, ladies and gentlemen. You can support the channel through Cash App. Cash App is $nothing-but-Knicks, or through PayPal at paypal.me/nothing-but-Knicks. There's a link, not actually a link, but you can see the Cash App and the PayPal information tagged to the top of your YouTube chat or in the description of the video. So please support the channel. If, take care of your Christmas gifts first, but then support the channel. Looking at the lineups, ladies and gentlemen, Jalen Brunson for the New York Knicks starting at point guard spot. Dante DiVincenzo, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, and then I'm assuming Isaiah Hartenstein because I believe that Jericho Sims is going to be out tonight. That's what I believe. He's questionable on the injury report, but I think he probably needs to rest that ankle a little bit. See what Isaiah Hartenstein looks like playing with the first and the second unit because he's probably going to get 40 minutes. You know what I mean? Like Julius Randle got 43 minutes the other night or whatever it was. I can see Isaiah Hartenstein. I think he was up to 38 or 39 minutes. So with Jericho Sims out, Isaiah Hartenstein is going to be on the floor. Now, he said he's okay. He said he's in shape. He's going to be out there. For the Nets, Spencer Dinwiddie starts at point guard. Cam Thomas at shooting guard. Mikal Bridges at small forward. Cameron Johnson at power forward. And then Nick Claxton at the center spot. And let me tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, Cam Thomas is putting in work this season. He's putting in work. He is a guy that the Knicks should fear. Straight up. He's a guy that the Knicks should fear. 6'3", 210 pounds. He's averaging 24.4 points per game this season. 24.4 points. 3.3 rebounds. And 2.3 assists. All right, he's putting up some really good numbers. 22 years old. Good numbers. I mean, right now, I think Cam Thomas right now would be hands down the most improved player in the league. If it were to end right now and you had to vote, it would have to be Cam Thomas. Last season, Cam Thomas, 10.6 points per game. He did it in 16 minutes. This season, he's playing 31 minutes, 24.4 points per game. Shooting 45% from the field. He's shooting 37% from the three-point line. He's doing it on about 19.8 shot attempts per game. All right, so the kid can ball. Now, Brooklyn is 13-13 on the season. They're a 500 basketball club. All right, so the Knicks got to figure it out and watch out for Cam Thomas and not let that kid go crazy tonight. You know what I mean? I think they know about Spencer Dinwiddie and things he can do. They know about Mikal Bridges. I'm sure they know about Cam Thomas, but maybe not as familiar. You know what I mean? The kid is balling, so you got to watch out for Cam Thomas. I would assume that Dante DiVincenzo would be guarding Cam Thomas as we look at matchups. R.J. Barrett, Mikal Bridges, Julius Randle, Cam Johnson, and Isaiah Hartenstein on Nick Claxton. That leaves Jalen Brunson and Spencer Dinwiddie. Or Jalen Brunson to guard Spencer Dinwiddie. Which, Spencer Dinwiddie, he's had his moments in the league. He's had his moments. I think that, look, he's 6'5", 215. He does have a size difference over Jalen Brunson. So you might consider that. He's giving you 15 points and 7 assists per game. Definite size difference. Cam Thomas is like 6'3". So Jalen Brunson is, 6 foot, 6'1", maybe, give him. I don't know if you're matching up with size, maybe Tom Thibodeau would put Jalen Brunson on Cam Thomas. The fact are, though, is that kid is going to take a lot of shots. And it's not even just about Jalen Brunson, his defense. It's also about, the Knicks need Jalen Brunson to score. So can you reserve some of that energy? It'll be interesting to see which way Tom Thibodeau decides to go as far as who Jalen Brunson guards. Does he guard Spencer Dinwiddie? Does he guard Cam Thomas? I'm still thinking that he's going to put Dante DiVincenzo on Cam Thomas since he's the guy with the workload. Taking a look at the bench units. For the Knicks, Emmanuel Quickly, Dante DiVincenzo, R.J. Barrett, Josh Hart. And I'm assuming that Taj Gibson is going to play because I just feel like Jericho Sims needs to sit out and is going to sit out. So I'm just going to go with Taj Gibson. Julian Bloom said he's out 2 weeks. Maybe that's the current, and if you're looking on Twitter or something like that, I didn't see anything on Twitter. I didn't look on Twitter. I've only looked at the injury report. All right, Tay 234 said Hart at power forward. I mean, Josh Hart's been playing backup power forward. Yeah, he's playing backup power forward. So it looks like there must be a report in regards to Jericho Sims and his ankle injury. So, I guess we can just assume that Sims is going to be out. Okay, Wold said he's going to be out 2 weeks. There you go. So Jericho Sims is out. So, yeah, it's going to be Taj Gibson at the backup center spot. Isaiah Hartenstein, I assume, starting at center. Jericho and then Taj Gibson backing him up. So there you go. Jericho Sims out at least 2 weeks. And then that bodes another question. Where do the Knicks go to pick up another insurance policy? Me and Tony had a talk last night on his show. He did a show late last night, about 11:45. Some of you were there and joined us. Right? If you were not there last night, then go check it out. But who do the Knicks bring to the team as another insurance policy? We had a discussion about Andre Drummond. Right? He would be a good, right now, because of the Knicks situation, he might be a good pickup. Not that he's a pickup because he plays for the Chicago Bulls, but he might be a good center to trade for. The problem is Andre Drummond is used to right now getting 13 to 15 minutes per game. If you bring in Andre Drummond as a backup, an insurance policy, He's going to be playing right now, probably over Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson goes back to being the insurance policy. But then when Mitchell Robinson comes back, then what happens? Then what happens? Because I'm not taking Isaiah Hartenstein out the lineup for Andre Drummond. You know Mitchell Robinson, he's going to come back and start. Right now, Andre Drummond is only making like $3.3 million a game. I mean, not a game, a season. Or for this season, he's making $3.3 million. So, you know, it's not like, I don't know, he'll come in. Andre Drummond can still give you a double-double. If he came in with the Knicks and he played 15 to 20 minutes a game, you know, he's going to give you close to a double-double. Right? Now, is he happy with, you know, I guess my question is, would you have to deal with an issue with him now going to the bench and not getting no minutes? You know what I mean? With getting no minutes, would he be happy with that? Knicks 100, the GM said, Drummond told us no, thank you a couple of years ago when we tried to sign him. Yeah, but he wouldn't have the option now. If the Bulls felt like they didn't need him, you know, he doesn't have a no-trade clause. They could trade him to the Knicks. Really wouldn't have the option to say no. There's other guys out there. Nathan Knight might be available, right? The Knicks had Nathan Knight. He got waived or whatever. He ended up going to Boston, played for, you know, he was with their main G League team. Now he's with Detroit's G League team. He could be an option. Either way, I do think the Knicks need to find a backup center, an insurance policy, just in case. I mean, Taj is old. You know what I mean? 38 years old. He could go down too. So the Knicks need another guy. Anyway, looking at the benches, man, Boston, you know, their bench is kind of small right now because of injuries. So many guys out. So they got Dorian Finney-Smith. They got Davon Sharp. They got Royce O'Neal. The Knicks bench should dominate tonight, in my opinion. And let me change. I got Dante DiVincenzo on the bench. It should be Quenton Grimes. Make that change and bring it back up. But the Knicks bench should dominate tonight. Or, you know, obviously the Nets are going to play, you know, their starters mixed in with the bench. You know, but guys like Quenton Grimes, Emmanuel Quickly, Josh Hart, Josh Gibson, you know, the bench play should give the Knicks a considerable edge tonight, in my opinion. Right? Because the Knicks are just deeper. They have more guys that can produce off the bench, which should allow the Knicks to give their starters a little bit of a rest when it's necessary and keep the same level of play. That's the whole purpose of having a strong bench. Right? Being able to let guys rest while you keep a high level of play. So again, for the Knicks, Emmanuel Quickly, Quenton Grimes, R.J. Barrett, Josh Hart, Taj Gibson at that center spot. For the Nets, Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neal, Davon Sharp. Yeah, the Knicks bench should be able to go to work tonight. As a matter of fact, I mean, the Knicks bench should be able to compete with their starters, in my opinion. Just saying. Should be able to. Should be able to. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you support the channel. All right, as you can see down below me, the Cash App is $ nothing but Knicks. PayPal is paypal.me/nothing but Knicks. We always appreciate your support, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? Then, of course, you support the channel. I'm going to bring it up on the screen and shout you out and all that good stuff. All right, so please support the channel. if you can't support the channel, I understand. I appreciate you just being here, rocking with us, or with me right now, because my man Tony, couldn't make it right at the moment, but he'll be back. Pretty sure he's going to be on the post-game show. All right, let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen, at the numbers of the two teams. And look at the matchup from that aspect. All right, because the Brooklyn Nets, they can score the ball. They actually average more points than the Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. All right, the Nets are averaging 116.1 points per game. The Knicks giving you 114.5 points per game. Now, we've seen in recent, weeks the Knicks be able to score 130, 140, and all of that. Again, I think 115 is a sweet spot for the Knicks. I'd like to see them just stay there and play some defense. 47 rebounds for the Nets, 45.5 for the Knicks. So you have a good rebounding team in the Nets. The Knicks also a good rebounding team, but of course they lost a little bit of punch with Mitchell Robinson going out. Now you got Jericho Sims out. This means Julius Randle, he's got to rebound the basketball. He's got to give you 10 to 12 rebounds per game, per game, with Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims being out. Isaiah Hartenstein's got to rebound the basketball. Had 17 rebounds the other night versus the Los Angeles Lakers. These guys got to rebound. All right, 23.8 assists for the Knicks, 26.1 for the Brooklyn Nets. 7.6 steals for the Knicks, 6.1 for Brooklyn. Both teams about 12 turnovers. They both shoot about 46% from the field, and they both shoot about 38% from the three-point line. The Nets shoot it slightly better. They shoot free throws slightly better. So where's the difference between these two teams? I mean, when you look points in the paint, they're both about the same. Right? Second chance points. Knicks 16.5, Brooklyn 14.2. Very close. Fast break points, 14.2 for the Knicks, 16.2 for Brooklyn. Where's the difference between the two teams? Slight differences. You would hope that the Knicks have a deeper team and a better team, better players. But these two teams are close. And when you look in record-wise, I mean, Brooklyn is 13-13, 500. The Knicks right now 16-11. 15-11, excuse me. They're in the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. Brooklyn right now is down at the 9th seed, but they are 2 games above the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks are 11-15. All right. Inner city battle, ladies and gentlemen. So, both teams want to get it. Both teams want to get this win. Let me get to a phone call here. Caller, you're live. Name me where you're from, please.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Simmons? Benji from Manhattan, man.
What's going on, Benji?
Huge game tonight, man. Before these back-to-back against the Bucks, which right now, if I were to sign up, I would take a 1-on-1 again in those 2 games.
Okay.
I'm also taking my each of my young boys to one of those games, so to each of those games there. So super pumped for those. But look, man, I have a thought on what we need to do to fix this, to take this team to the next level and just clean up a little bit around the edges.
All right.
I think it's becoming more and more apparent we have to package Grimes with Emmanuel quickly. As much as I love him and as valuable as he is for this team, I don't see a future where he gets the minutes he deserves, where he starts. He's never going to start on this team. That's just a reality. Part of it is just RJ being here and the politics of that, and Brunson being a superstar and transcending to even a higher level. I really think we got to package Grimes, IQ, some of these picks, whatever we got to do to make it work. The question that I have that nobody knows, of course, is for who's that player that we're going to acquire, right? We're not going to be able to trade for Cat. We're not going to be able to trade for Embiid. I don't think Anunoby is a possibility at this point. Maybe Bogdanovich, but what I mentioned there would be too much to give up for him. So just curious your thoughts, but I don't see the purpose of Quenton Grimes in this team at this point. I mean, he played 11 minutes against the Lakers. His role is getting slowly phased out. He's not bringing anything to the table here.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to grade him, if I were to give him an objective grade for this season, curious what your thoughts would be. I'd give him a D-. Curious your thoughts, man. Big game tonight. It would be huge to just stack another win going into those Bucks games, and with the road trip coming up, Indiana, Orlando, and OKC, which in past years would be a relatively manageable trip, and now is a very difficult road trip against very good teams that are high powered.
Right. Yeah, I agree 100%. This is a big game tonight. You know, looking at, we got to play Milwaukee. You know, 2 home games against Milwaukee, but you know it's Milwaukee, and believe it or not, we played Milwaukee a 5th time, ladies and gentlemen. Right, we're gonna play Milwaukee later on at the back end of the schedule. The Knicks have been lucky enough to have to play Boston and Milwaukee this season 5 times apiece. 5 times apiece. So yeah, this is a big one tonight. So that the Knicks can get a little bit more cushion between their win-loss record, so that they have that cushion as they face Milwaukee. And then, Benji's right. Orlando is tough. Indiana is going to be tough. OKC is tough. Those are tough teams now that the Knicks have to play. As far as Quenton Grimes, I hate to say it, but I kind of agree with Benji. I mean, I like Grimes, and I wanted to see where he could develop, but I just don't see him developing. You know, we all thought that he was going to develop to be a little bit more than he is, but we're not seeing it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I am definitely concerned about Grimes, or maybe I'm not concerned about Grimes because the Knicks do have depth, and they have guys that can play at that position. So, yeah, I think he might be one of those guys that can go if a trade happens. You know what I mean? Packaging him and IQ. Here's the thing with packaging him and IQ. It's not enough money. IQ is making $6 million this year, or less than that maybe. Quenton Grimes is making like $2 million. You're talking about, $8 million at the most between the two of those guys. I'm going to give you exact numbers right now. Emmanuel Quickley's making 4.1 this season. Quenton Grimes is making 2.3. That's $6.3 million, or, closer to $6.4 million. Obviously, you can package him with Evan Fournier, package them with Evan Fournier. That still is getting you just $24 million or something like that, $25 million. So who are you getting with that money? $25 million. If you're talking about packaging those 3 guys, there's only one guy you're getting that's where the money's even close, and that's DeMar DeRozan, because he makes 28.6. You know what I mean? And you could probably package Quenton Grimes, Evan Fournier, you know what I mean, and find some other pieces to make the money work to get DeMar DeRozan, and keep Emmanuel Quickley for depth. I personally don't think right now would be the time to move him because you still control his contract. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it does look as if you are not going to, if he's never going to be a starter and he wants to be a starter, this and that, maybe, you might be able to get something for Emmanuel Quickley. You could package Quickley with Evan Fournier and probably maybe get a little bit more. If you're talking star-wise, you're going to have to package even more money because they're going to make more money because IQ makes so little money. Now, if you find a way to re-sign or extend Emmanuel Quickley, now he's making more money. Now, if you go to trade Emmanuel Quickley, the money is worth it. But obviously, there's going to be some other things in there where you might not be able to trade Emmanuel Quickley straight up. well, you can trade him straight up, but then the team is taking back more money than what you're sending out. So there's a lot of quirks in there, which could make it where they need to trade him now, too. So it's all up in the air. Personally, I want the Knicks to try to keep Emmanuel Quickly around as long as possible. You know what I mean? Emmanuel Quickly, as I watch him play, he's just growing and getting better and better and better and better. And Tom Thibodeau's going to have to make a decision. And I do agree, there are some politics surrounding R.J. Barrett because of, his draft status and how much money he makes now and all of that kind of stuff. It's going to be interesting to see which way it does go with Emmanuel Quickly. Personally, I want to keep him around, though. Let me get to a phone call. Call, you live. Name me where you're from, please.
Hey, what's up? What's up? This is BW. I'm in Richmond, Virginia, but I was born and raised in Brooklyn. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, BW? Glad you're calling in.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much for taking my call. So, hey, listen, I've been a Knicks fan a really long time. And with this team, we can sit back and say, hey, we need to fill this gap. We need to fill X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. But in the end, I think this team needs to stay together. Now, from the basketball perspective, I think this team needs to stay put. But from the business perspective, yeah, we might need to go ahead and make a move with Grimes and even Jericho. But I don't know.
And even Jericho, you said?
I'm sorry, say again?
You said and even Jericho?
Potentially, yes.
Okay.
And you know why? I mean, he's young. I mean, Grimes, they may not want to stay. Contracts are ending. But these guys are really playing some good, solid basketball. And back in the day, I'm a little older than probably some of the people that are on this call, but back in the day, there was a term that we used to use when we played basketball called gray basketball. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it was for everyone, but it was a situation where when we talk about gray basketball, we did the unexpected. Right. We put in the unexpected lineups. And I think now is the time with this bench, the way they are playing, even down to the last man on the bench. I think the Knicks can make a serious run right now with Robinson out. I think the Knicks can make a serious run even with well, I'm not going to even mention his name, but but thanks for what you do, man. And I love watching you and this channel. And I
appreciate you, BW. All, thank you. Appreciate you, BW. Be easy. Blessings to you.
Yeah. LW out.
Big shout out to Christopher Liviano. Thank you for the Cash App. He said, go get Isaiah Stewart. He's a great backup 4/5. Is Isaiah Stewart available, or do you have to make a move for him? That's my question. I'm not sure. I think you have to make a move for him. But, Isaiah Stewart is a guy that I've paid attention to over the years, and he would be a great backup 4/5. You know what I mean? He would be. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about it. BW was saying, that he thinks this team, basketball-wise, he wants to see the team stay put, but financially, there could be some moves. But I think the moves that you might, when you're talking about financially, even those guys, Quenton Grimes is not doing what we all expected and thought he would do, but he is another defender that's out there. So he's another defender. Jericho Sims. I mean, Jericho Sims is your fourth-string center anyway. So, I'm not making too much of it. He's not even normally in the rotation. You know what I'm saying? But the Knicks right now do need to look for an insurance policy at the center spot. They got to find, they need to make a move, I think, because, Taj Gibson is 38, 39 years old. The way Isaiah Hartenstein has to play and the amount of minutes he has to play, there's obviously a chance that Isaiah Hartenstein could get hurt. The Knicks need an option. Don't know who it is, but they need an option. You know what I mean? Yeah, Knicks are nice. You're right. If he goes out, if iHeart goes out, we're in trouble. Now what? Now what? You know what I mean? The Knicks got to get an option there. But anyway, they play the Nets tonight, ladies and gentlemen. A big game because of the schedule they have coming up. I think this is definitely a big game. But the Knicks been in a tough schedule all season long. They really have. And when we're talking tough schedule, we're not just talking about the teams that they've played. We're talking about the back-to-backs, the road trips. They've been in a tough schedule all season, and they're still 15-11. You know what I mean? And, that's not nothing to sneeze at, in my opinion. 'Cause they've been in a tough schedule all season long. For real. And they're doing it. They're doing it. Listen, we looked at the schedule later on after the new year. The schedule lightens up some. We'll see what they can do then. Hopefully going through this grind now sets them up to be really successful after the new year. But yeah, they've been in a tough schedule and they're still 15-11, fifth seed in the Eastern Conference. There's something to be said for that, in my opinion. Looking at the keys to the game, though, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, don't underestimate Brooklyn. I don't think the Knicks will, but don't do it. They're 500 on the season. They got some weapons over there. They have a team that can strike. And if we mess around and underestimate them, we'll be in trouble. So do not underestimate this basketball team. Let's go in there. Let's dominate the Barclays Center. Continue playing tough defense. The Knicks put an emphasis on defense in the LA game. They need to put an emphasis on defense tonight. Keep that emphasis on defense. Play tough defense. Play scrappy. Play desperate. Play like you got to get the win. Go out there and do it. Finish the quarters strong. I'm tired of seeing these guys have a 8-9 point lead, and then at the end of the second quarter, they, in the last 3 minutes of the second quarter, they lose the lead. Go to the half down by 1 or something like that. Take care of the end of the quarters. Other teams are stepping up. You got to step up too. Take care of the end of the quarter. You know what I mean? You do that, you're going to give, instead of it being a struggle, you're down 1 and you got to, battle in the third quarter. Maybe you go into the third quarter up 9, Take care of the end of the quarters, ladies and gentlemen. The bench has got to step up. Brooklyn's bench is small tonight. They don't have, all of their pieces, all of their players out there. We need Emmanuel Quickly, Quenton Grimes, Josh Hart. We need these guys to step up, take it over. Be the catalyst. Late game execution. In games that we've won, when we beat the Lakers, when we beat the Suns, we had great late game execution, but it always flip-flops with the Knicks. It always flip-flops. Late game execution. We do these things. I think we get this win. We come back to the Garden, 16-11, ready to take on Milwaukee. I think we get one of those Milwaukee games. You know what I mean? I think we get one of them. Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, I got to run. It's 4:37. I got to be to practice by 5 o'clock. All right, I definitely appreciate you for jumping on with me, Christopher Liriano. I appreciate you for hitting me with the Cash App. And if anybody wants to support the channel now and when I'm in practice, feel free to go ahead and hit up the Cash App or PayPal. PayPal.me/nothing-but-Knicks. So Cash App is $nothing-but-Knicks. All right, feel free to do so. And I will catch you in the post-game show, ladies and gentlemen. Be easy, get some rest before the game comes on. I think the Knicks, I didn't do my prediction. I think the Knicks get this win tonight. That's my prediction for the night. I think we get a win. I mean, I think, that defense comes over from what we did in L.A. and we get the win tonight. Folks, I'm out of here. Appreciate your time. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.